Hey everyone, Coach Green here for Healthy Homestead Living, and I'm jumping on another live video to share with you some more insights and inspiration on homesteading for profit. This is part 2 of the Homesteading for Profit series. If you missed the last one, feel free to go back and check that one out. We want to talk a little bit, or I want to talk a little bit with you guys when you're looking at putting together homesteading for profit. Obviously, homesteading is just a wide range of definitions of what you consider homesteading. So homesteading could be just a matter of having an apartment and creating a thriving place that you are growing things, or that you are adding to the value of your lifestyle. That's kind of the way I look at homesteading. So you don't necessarily have to have acreage or anything like that. A lot of people that live in town can do urban homesteading or apartment homesteading, and do that with things like the tower gardens, which are right here behind me. I also just recently picked up this really cool, I'll come over here and show you. This, see if I can get my phone to angle a little bit, is my garden tower. So I'm getting ready to experiment with that just a little bit on some different options for growing things and for vertical gardening. Anyway, sorry, it's been a crazy day. So when we're talking about homesteading for profit, we want to look at specific aspects, and the first thing you want to look at is your strategies and where that you already have tools and knowledge and materials to be able to come at it from a slightly different approach to make it more profitable, as opposed to just hobby and growing things for yourself. So for example, you may have a small garden, and then you can expand that just a little bit to grow for your neighbors or for a farmer's market and be able to sell that. So you can look at what you have already. Do you already have a facility where you can grow microgreens, for example? And we're going to go into that in more detail when I get to that section. We'll do a whole separate video on homesteading for profit microgreens, because that's a really cool one. There are people who are making $10,000 a month just growing microgreens in their basement. So you don't, like I said, don't have to have huge land or huge area or huge expense to be able to put together homesteading for profit. So take a look at where your interest is, where your knowledge is, where your resources are. So if you have a resource and really are into growing produce, then that's a really great place to start. And seeds are pretty economical. You can get seeds really, really cheap, especially when you buy them in bulk. And that's a little different than of course, if we're looking at it from a perspective of livestock. So if we're going from the dairy or the beef aspect, then that's obviously going to be just a little bit more of an investment, but it also has a little bit more of a return possibility, because you're selling plant starts or produce for a couple dollars as opposed to a couple $1,000s potentially, or a couple $100s. So that just kind of depends on where you are right now. So look at your strategies. Then the other thing to look at is, of course, the marketing aspect. So anytime that we're looking at anything from a business perspective as opposed to a hobby perspective, you always want to take it from that approach of treating it like it's already a several thousand, $100,000 business, for example. If you are a $100,000 business a year, then how would you be making your decisions, and what would be some of the strategies that you would be implementing at the $100,000 a year level, and then bring that back to where you are right now and make your decisions somewhat similarly? Because how are you going to get to that higher level if you're not treating your business from the perspective of like it's already there? So that's a tip that I got back when I was studying my MBA and getting my master's in business, and we were always looking at it from a perspective that you want to treat your business like a business and treat your business like it's already a successful business, because it does impact the way that you approach your decision making when you are using your business or doing your business, regardless of what it is, whether it's homesteading for profit or a direct selling business or any other business like that. So from that aspect too, then we look at if we're making our decisions as if we are highly successful 100,000 plus year business, then we'll look at our marketing very differently and strategize our marketing, because if you're looking at profit, you're looking at sales and marketing. So it's all about supply and demand. It's about finding your niche. So you want to find who is your ideal customer, where does your ideal customer hang out, where do they spend their time, what are some of the social media pages and stuff like that that they're spending their time. So if they're spending their time on various social media sites, those are really good places for you to be spending your time to be able to foster those relationships. So it's just little things like that that really can make a huge impact when you're looking at growing your homesteading hobby and turning it into a homesteading business. So anyway, wanted to keep that super short today. Super hot out here. We have a beautiful day in the Ozarks, but hopefully, it's just crazy. This is middle of September and it's still in the 90s, which is unreal. But I love it. It's really nice because it's allowing some of the summer vegetables in the garden to continue. But anyway, so think about that from the homesteading for business or for profit perspective. In our next couple of videos, I'm going to start diving in more specifically into the various areas of homesteading for profit and talking about factors to consider and things to look at when you are looking at growing those aspects. But before we get into any of that, it's important to understand the core concepts of treating your homestead. If you want it to be for profit, then you need to treat it like a business, and then run it like a business. Make decisions like a business, just like if it's already there, it's already producing. Look at your marketing, look at your strategy, look at your direction that you can go. Who is your target audience? Who is your niche? Target audience. What are some problems that they have that you have the solution for? And when you have those aspects outlined and you know where you're going with that, then you can make those decisions and start putting together your business. So anyway, hope that you found that helpful, and be sure to stay tuned for the subsequent videos when we go into more detail about breaking it down into parts of homesteading that you can turn into profitable ventures. We'll see you on the next one. God bless. Have a great afternoon.